Few Americans know what it's like to be the target of a conspiracy theory. But since the day nurse Tiffany Dover fainted while getting her COVID vaccine, life has never been the same. And tonight she's speaking out for the first time in an exclusive interview with NBC's Brandy Zadrozny.
Tiffany Dover wants the world to know one thing.
My message is simple. It is that I am alive. I'm well. That's it. I hope they believe it.
They are the massive online community of conspiracy theorists who've been convinced she's dead for more than 2 years. I made a whole podcast about it. Tiffany wasn't ready to share her story then, but now
I'm ready to just put my story out there, own my story.
That story begins in 2020. Tiffany was working as a nurse manager at CHI Memorial Hospital in Chattanooga, putting in grueling hours on a COVID unit. When vaccines arrived that December, Tiffany became one of the first people at her hospital to get the shot.
I felt okay during that.
Then she stood up to answer questions.
I'm sorry.
I'll sit down.
I ended up passing out. So that created the opposite effect of what I would have liked.
But you got right back up.
I did. And this is something that's happened to me my whole life. I do have episodes where I pass out.
But in that moment, a conspiracy theory was born.
People thought that I was dead. People thought that I was an actress paid to do this, that I was paid off by Big Farm. It was completely overwhelming, to be honest.
It snowballed fast.
I had people showing up at my house. I had people reaching out to my friends, my family. I even received death threats.
Were you afraid for your family?
Absolutely, yes.
Through it all, Tiffany kept silent, and that only made the online frenzy worse.
Why not come out and dispel these rumors?
Initially, that was exactly what I wanted to do. And unfortunately, I was told that that absolutely would not happen.
The hospital told you not to speak out.
Correct, yes. It would be irrecoverable damage is what I was told if I was to speak out and have another episode.
Instead, the hospital put out this video, intending to show she was alive. But the so-called Tiffany truthers picked it apart and used it as fuel.
Online anti-vaxxers and the movement are sort of using you as their poster girl.
It's hard to think that you are being used to deter somebody from getting the vaccine. And that was really hard for me to cope with.
Are you saying you blamed yourself?
Yes, absolutely. I wish that we would have used it as a platform to speak out on the fact that people do pass out after getting shots, vaccines, but that is not a reason to not proceed with getting them.
CHI Memorial has repeatedly denied knowledge of any directive asking Tiffany not to speak or post, including in an interview for our podcast.
I'm not aware of anything that asked Tiffany not to respond.
The hospital recently telling NBC News, "We have no new information." A year ago, Tiffany left CHI Memorial, and while she hopes to work as a nurse again one day, for now, she's focused on reclaiming her life.
Even after all of this, there will be people who say, "We don't believe you." What then?
At this point, I've done what I needed to do. I've put it out there that I'm alive. They have to choose whether they believe that or not. And that's all I can do. Is put out the truth.
Brandy Zadrozny, NBC News, Higdon, Alabama.
And for the bonus podcast, scan the QR code on your screen or search for Tiffany Dover wherever you get your podcasts. Thanks for watching our YouTube channel. Follow today's top stories and breaking news by downloading the NBC News app.